No, dude, it's just like, if you don't consider Donald Trump to be a fascist, I don't know what to tell you. Like, what do you think is a fascist?
Now, you want me to say wannabe dictator?
Sure, you can say wannabe dictator, but I don't even think he wants to be a dictator.
Of course he does. That's what you do when you lose an election and you go, oh, I got fake election.
He's right. Oh, that's so funny. Oh, no. Oh, God, I'm so unk-pilled right now. So, of course he does.
If you enjoy content like this, then make sure you leave a like and subscribe to the channel. It really does help me out a ton. Let's get back to the video. Hasan Piker, the woke Twitch streamer, is once again having an absolute meltdown over Anna Kasparian, calling her full right-wing MAGA Trump supporter, all this other stuff that is a death sentence basically in the woke cult. And Anna Kasparian, it just continues to destroy not only Hasan, but also mainly Hasan's nephew, who is obviously Cenk, the owner of the Young Turks. On the Young Turks, Anna Kasparian went off on Cenk and a lot of the Young Turks fans, a lot of the woke cult, and Hasan Piker took massive offense to that. Let's get into this clip here of Hasan absolutely melting down over things that Anna Kasparian said to his uncle, Cenk here live on the Young Turks.
No one ever goes, you were already in office for 4 years. Why didn't you do so then? Because Americans have short-term memory loss, and that benefits Donald Trump. Like, they don't remember what it was like when he was president. They only remember what it was like, or what it is currently right now with Joe Biden as president. I think people will immediately say, oh, she's grifting. Oh, she's grifting. I think it's sadder if it's genuine. Like, and I think it's genuine. Like, I think she has experienced a lot of ideological shifts that started off with I think homelessness and crime, like leaning into crime panic stuff, and then moving on to the trans panic stuff. And now she's just doing this thing, like running defense for Trump's fascism. Like, that's crazy. I am proud of my unk though, for standing up for what he believes. Let's take a look at what this clip looked like.
Because look, if we're just gonna use toward anyone we dislike, all right, then the word doesn't actually mean anything.
Okay, what do you want me to say?
Like, if you cannot call Trump a there is no reason to use the word. We should not learn about fascism.
You know, the craziest part is, and I'm sure you guys have heard this, I'm not breaking any new ground or anything like this, but it's just so wild how people like Hasan and his uncle Cenk can argue with Anna Kasparian, who is 100% a leftist, not a right-winger. I don't care how many times they call her that. She's not a right-winger until she actually has some right-wing viewpoints. She's not a right-winger. And it's wild how they can call Donald Trump a fascist. Hasan is basically saying, if Anna Kasparian can't call Donald Trump a fascist, then you can't call anyone a fascist, which is wild. Because all the things that they say Donald Trump does and will do whenever he's in office that makes him a fascist, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris have actually done those things. So, you know, they always say he's a threat to democracy. He's going to throw his political opponents in jail. Donald Trump never did that. Kamala Harris and Joe Biden actually have attempted to do that with Donald Trump. So if we're going to call Donald Trump a fascist for these reasons that Hasan and Cenk and these people state, we should also be calling Joe Biden and Kamala Harris fascists, which levels the playing field again. So then it just comes down to who the better candidate is. But Anna Kasparian is completely correct. And this is not just for the word fascist. This is for so many different words, you know, all the istophobes in the book, racist, sexist, homophobic, all this stuff. The word fascist and all those other words that the left just abuses and use completely wrong have completely lost their meaning now. It's a cry wolf situation. Where if everybody's a fascist, you know, that's not a part of the woke cult, then nobody's a fascist. So it doesn't really matter, like I said. And also, if Donald Trump is a fascist for these reasons that Hasan and Cenk are talking about, so is Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. Even more so, because they have actually done the things that they claim Donald Trump will do.
In school, we should not learn about genocides. We should not learn about the laws. We should not learn about how we got to this point in history, because that's it. He's a it's what do you mean? This fucker wants to do concentration camps, dude. What are you saying? What are we doing? What are you saying? It doesn't make any sense. It genuinely does not make any sense. This is gonna get clip chimped. No, dude, it's just if you don't consider Donald Trump to be a fascist, I don't know what to tell you. What do you think is a fascist?
Now, you want me to say wannabe dictator?
Sure, you can say wannabe dictator, but I don't even think he wants to be a dictator.
Of course he does. That's what you do when you lose an election and you go, oh, I got a fake election.
He's right. Oh, that's so funny. Oh no. Oh God, I'm so unk-pilled right now. So of course he does.
Electors, and I'd like to.
So I get what he's saying, right? He's saying that's what you do, and let's just follow this logic, okay? Cenk Uygur is saying, of course Donald Trump wants to be a dictator because whenever he lost the election, he was doing all these things to try and prove that the election was fake. And let's just say that, you know, the election wasn't stolen from him. The election was completely fair, everything like that. Every single person that runs for president wants to win the presidency. So Donald Trump, if him trying and saying these things to win the election makes him a fascist. I mean, Hillary Clinton did this. The entire Democratic Party did this back in 2016 whenever Trump won. They said it was Russia collusion, said it was colluding with Russia, all this stuff. They were saying that the election was straight up stolen from them. They said that. They did. I don't care. Hassan and Cenk Uygur are 100% going to try and deny that they said that. They 100% said that. They said it was stolen and there was Russia collusion. And does that make Hillary Clinton a fascist? Because I'm sure Kamala Harris and Joe Biden, they all agreed with that narrative that the election was stolen because of the Russia collusion. Does that make all of them a fascist? Of course not. Of course not, because they don't hold them to the same standard. Donald Trump, because he's actually trying to win an election and using the same exact tactics that these other people used, he's a fascist. Even though these other people who are on the left, on Hassan's side, and that Hassan 100% supports, they use the same tactics and they're not fascist. It's pointless to even try and reason with these people.
Terminate the Constitution and bring out the tanks and use martial law against American citizens and shoot protesters. I mean, if that's not fascist, then I guess the word just shouldn't exist.
But was he able to do those things?
Oh, dude, sorry. Excuse me, officer. I know that like I went into a bank with a gun, okay? And I said, put the money in the bag, please. And then they put the money in the bag, but then on the way out of the bank, I actually slipped on a banana peel and fell. Technically, I didn't extract all of the dollars out of the bank. I am not a bank robber. That's fine. Please do not call me a bank robber because guess what? I failed in robbing the bank. Like, what are we doing here? When it comes to the term fascist, like if your entire worldview revolves.
Okay. Cenk Uygur called him, in this instance, they're saying a straight up dictator. Donald Trump wants to be a dictator, or Donald Trump is a dictator, threat to democracy, whatever. Number one, I don't even agree with Anna Kasparian that he didn't accomplish those things as if he wanted to accomplish them. I don't think he wants to be a dictator personally. But also, you can't, like, let's say, for example, let's say Hitler failed to become a leader. He just never he wanted to his whole life. He tried and tried to gain all his influence through, politics, through force, everything. And he just failed. We wouldn't call Hitler a dictator because he never was a dictator. He never ruled. If Donald Trump failed to be a dictator, then he's not a dictator. But also, I don't think Donald Trump ever wanted to be a dictator in the first place. But it just makes no sense to call someone a dictator if they failed at being a dictator. That's like saying, oh, I wanted to be a doctor growing up, but failed out of college. So I guess Hassan would still call me a doctor, but I failed at achieving what I wanted to do. That's so dumb. Of course you wouldn't call someone a dictator who's not a dictator.
Revolves around ultra-nationalist sentiments, like, and the abolition, the complete deportation of like an entire, like tens of millions of people that are currently living on U.S. soil.
Yeah,
like that's
illegally.
it. That's Adolf Hitler. What are we doing? That's Adolf
not
Hitler
at all. That's not.
That's it.
That's not, dude. Hitler hated people and killed people for being a certain race. Donald Trump is not specifying a certain race that he wants to deport. He is saying if you are here illegally, if you are black, white, orange, yellow, you're here illegally, you should be deported. I agree. How is that Hitler?
He's literally saying he wants to use the military against the enemy from within. That is Adolf Hitler, okay? That does not make sense. It doesn't. Dude, this is why I'm like mad about the Democrats being like, don't call Trump supporters trash. It's like, what are you saying? They're doing Nazi rallies at the place where they did a Nazi rally in 1939. They are Nazis. They're saying Nazi things at the Nazi rally. What the
Trump's
No, his rhetoric is awful.
Okay, if you don't want to be called fascist, stop saying fascist things. It's not that hard.
Thank you.
Not that hard. Oh, here, let me have dinner with Nick Fuentes, who's a Nazi, Kanye, who's a Nazi, and let me say there's good people on the Nazi side. Oh, it could be pro-Confederate guys. Might be guys who are pro-slavery.
He's right. He's right. Unc is cooking. Unc is cooking. He's right. I'm glad that he's like he hasn't lost the sauce on this part, because he's a little bit of a crime guy too. But goddamn, dude, that's why I'm writing Cenk Uygur on the ballot.
You were good guys. Let me do all of these things. Let me say that immigrants are poisoning the blood of our nation, a Nazi term that is only used in the past by Nazis, and then say I'm going to ban Muslims, I'm going to do this and this and this to all the other ethnic groups, and then go, oh, I can't believe you called me a fascist. No, he is a fascist. I'm very happy to call him a fascist.
All right.
All right, I'm not gonna get back into it.
Dude, oh God. I love this man. That's Unc, man. That's Unc. He went hard. He went fucking hard. I don't think Anna is pro-fascist. I think she's just become like more of a centrist with right-leaning associations as time has continued, due to a metric ton of criticism and feedback and backlash that she has received from the left. It cooked, I think a lot of people's brains get fried when they divert even a little bit from like whatever the leftist progressive position is, right? And most people don't have any way of like dealing with that in a normal fashion, where they just like, the moment that, because they're getting shit on. I know Anna. I've known Anna for 20 fucking years, okay? She got shit on her entire life by the right. Like nonstop, doxing, death threats, rape threats, all this shit, right? So when you're doing that for like 25 fucking years, okay? When you're doing that for 20 plus years, and you're constantly getting fucking bullied, and you feel like, you can't even get support from the left, right? You can't even get like the support that you think you deserve in the left, because you have disagreements with other people who are like prominently online, extremely online, on the left, whatever. It just like fries your brain, where you're like, what the fuck am I doing this for? And the difference is like, you have to be an incredibly stubborn person to just go, I don't give a fuck what people say. I'm still gonna advocate for the things I'm advocating for. I don't give a shit. You know what I mean? And I think yeah,
you do have to be an incredibly stubborn person to just say, I don't care about all these facts and this logic and reasoning that you're laying out for me. It doesn't matter. I'm still going to say that Donald Trump is a fascist, even though it makes no sense to say so. Still going to say that Donald Trump is a threat to democracy, even though you're accusing him of possibly doing, whenever he gets elected, maybe doing the things that your candidate that you voted in actually did to Donald Trump. It takes a very stubborn person to be able to still say that Donald Trump is the one who's a threat to democracy whenever that's happening. I 100% agree with Hassan here. Let me know in the comments, though, what you guys think about this argument here on the Young Turks between Anna Kasparian and Cenk Uygur. What do you think about Hassan, once again, just melting down about things that Anna Kasparian is saying? Let me know in the comments what you think about this whole Hassan, Cenk Uygur, and Anna Kasparian situation.